lovelies! Welcome back to the channel! I am here today to answer your spooky and Halloweeny themed questions that you asked back in October. Definitely didn't completely forget to do that video until now. I was simply letting the questions age like a fine wine, or maybe milk. Let's just get into it anyway. Just before we do dive right into all the questions, we actually have a sponsor today. You guys know how exciting that is, and it's a rather appropriate one. Today's video is once again sponsored by Shudder. If you guys aren't aware of Shudder, what it is basically a streaming service with movies and shows, much like any other streaming service, except with the wonderful added little bonus that is entirely horror and thriller content. So if you are a horror fan and you're sick and tired like I am of sifting through other streaming services that have no good horrors on it, Shudder is for you. Their entire collection is human curated, so you know you're actually getting real horror and thriller content. They have a bunch of like old classic horror things as well as brand new stuff, and including some original content to Shudder. In fact, a series just launched today as I'm recording this. It's already out as you're watching this, called The Deadlands, that I'm going to start tonight. It is a really cool looking series. It looks really creepy. I find the whole setting and everything really interesting, so I will be starting that tonight. I'm very excited. And last night Jake and I actually watched a movie on there called Dark Summer, I think, so that was fun. I won't tell you anything about it, no spoilers. So yeah, Shudder is $5.99 per month, but if you would like to try it for 30 days free, I have got a promo code for you guys. It is Toxic Tears. It is on the screen right now. It is also down in the description, and you can use that to get 30 days free on shudder.com and see what you think. So yeah, a huge round of applause and thank you to Shudder for sponsoring today's video. Let's get right into it. So yeah, these questions are all kind of in the realm of like Halloween and like spooky paranormal stuff, but I also did take note of some more questions that would be like more like morbid, I guess. So if you'd like to see a answering your morbid questions video, then do let me know. And if you have any sort of like morbid questions, throw them down below and I'll see if there's any to add in. But yeah, let's get into these ones. So question one is any paranormal experiences? And I am not a full believer, but I'm not a full skeptic. I would lie somewhere in between, more towards the end of skeptic, but definitely not like concrete. So I've had experiences that I wouldn't immediately be like, that was a paranormal experience, but I would say I've had experiences that I have not been able to find any logical explanation for so far, if you get me. Nothing absolutely wild or anything, just weird little things, like things moving about the house, you know, just strange things. So there's no like huge stories to tell, but I've definitely had my little things where it's been like, you know? Question two is, would you go on a spooky road trip? I assume that probably means something like, you know, a road trip exploring like different like haunted places or things like that. And hell yes, that sounds like so much fun. I would be so up for that. I imagine you probably could do it within like Ireland because there's so many like old houses and manors and castles and stuff. I imagine mainland Europe as well would be fun. It's something that I would love to do. It's not something I've necessarily thought of before, but now that it's in my head, yeah. Favorite Halloween candy? Ooh. I'm like generally more of a chocolatey person like than a candy person, but if we are talking like specifically Halloween candy, like the little jelly brains you get that are kind of like blue on the bottom with like the pink jelly brain on top, and like it's like two different textures. I really love those little things, like just the texture of them so pleasing. So yeah, probably those, if you know what I mean. What were you most afraid of as a child? I think I went through like little phases of being afraid of certain things. I have like the vaguest memory in the world of like being afraid of the toilet for just a little while, and I have a memory of why, but I still to this day cannot remember if it was a dream I had or if it was a movie I saw. But I have like a memory of like a toilet eating someone or something. I feel like it was like it had like a blue fuzzy cover on it, and it like ate the kid or something like that. Like I said, this is like I was really young, like sort of like just maybe beyond toddler ages, but I still just have this memory of like this toilet eating someone, and so for a little while I was like always very nervous of that. I don't know, I know there were like other little things, but I can't think of anything that was like a sort of reoccurring childhood fear, honestly. I just remember having that one little weird one for like short period of time. How do you usually celebrate Halloween? So unfortunately, usually on Halloween I don't end up managing to do anything Halloween-y, which always really sucks. I don't know why things just never seem to work out. What did I do this year? I have zero memory of what happened this Halloween. Did I go anywhere? My memory is shocking. But yeah, generally I actually don't end up celebrating Halloween in any particularly interesting way because there's nothing going on, or I'm like broke around Halloween. It's always something, you know? So, demon possession or slasher movies. I've actually spoken about this. I have like a whole like scary get ready with me video where I just sit and talk about horror movies. And I am much more about like demonic possession. I'm not really a slasher person. They can be like sort of fun sometimes, but generally it's not really my thing. I'm much more about like ghosts, hauntings, demon possessions, like that kind of thing. That is my jam. And Shudder has very kindly curated their films into nice little categories like that. You know, you've got like hauntings, and you've got, you know, like horror comedies. It's all like nicely categorized so you can find good ones. Do you like candy corn? I do. We don't really get it here, so I think I've only had it like once. It's not really something we have in the UK often. It's not like amazing, and it's definitely not what I thought it would be. I thought it would be like crunchy, and it's not at all. But yeah, it's not like super great. It's just kind of tastes like icing, like fondant icing, but it's nice enough. So, do you ever dress up Sebastian? I do sometimes, much to his dismay. Not super often, but we do have like some little outfits for him that we like. I put a pair of bat wings on him once and he was terribly upset with me. There is a picture of him here, and every time I see it I wheeze. That little face of pure betrayal. I'm like, mother, why? It's just so funny to me. He just lay down and was like, I hate this. He also has like a little like skeleton like hoodie type thing that me and Jake love putting on him, because not only does it look really cute, but it makes him feel really cute. Do you know what I mean? Because like I thought I was just being weird, but then I said it to Jake and he was like, no, yeah, I get it. It's like it feels cute to hold him. Like his little body just feels cute in this like little like t-shirty thing he has, and it's so sweet. So then he's even more mad because not only is he wearing clothes, but that me and Jake are just there like squeezing him. So yeah, he's very cute in clothes, but he doesn't love it. Have you had any premonition dreams? Not like exactly, but I've definitely had kind of dreams in that realm for sure, especially when it's come to like friends and stuff. I mean, even last year I remember having like a very specific dream, and I won't get into it, but like from that dream I like kind of knew something was going on with one of my friends, and then a couple of weeks later like I found out there had been a bunch of stuff going on that was like very much in the theme of the dream. Things like that are very, very strange. So yeah, definitely nothing. I'm sure it's just coincidence really, but it has happened enough times and with enough accuracy that it is a bit spooky. It's kind of strange. I'm not going to be like, I'm psychic, but you know, it's definitely like where I'm like, that's really weird. There's only so many times it can happen before it stops being coincidence, but I can't imagine what else it is, so yeah. If you could be any creature, what creature would you be? It depends. I mean, like vampire is usually my go-to, but I would need to know like the terms and conditions. I have questions. What vampire lore are we talking about? You know, like I need answers. If I could be a vampire in terms of like, if we're going by the lore of Lost Souls, for instance, like if it's mostly that, then that would be great. Whereas if it's something like really like awfully strict, then it's like, So yeah. Plus I'm like, does seasonal affective disorder affect vampires? Because, you know, like they don't get to see sunlight ever again. Like, you know, is that something that messes with them? Would I just become a constant awful mope? You know, like I need to know these things before I can commit to that life. Have you ever been to a haunted house? I'm not sure if this means like the Halloween like set up like haunted houses or like a real haunted house, but I don't think I've been to either actually. Whenever I say real haunted house, I mean like a real location that is rumored to be haunted. Other than my school had like all sorts of ghost rumors, but like in terms of, you know, like ghost hunting and stuff, I don't think so. And I don't think I've been to like a haunted house. I've been on like ghost trains and stuff at the fair, but not since I was very, 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 very young, so I barely remember it. But yeah, I don't think I've been to like one of those like American style haunted houses. America gets everything. Would you come to the US for Halloween? I've actually been in the US on Halloween. I was in LA for Halloween a few years ago. I think 2017 maybe. Unfortunately we actually didn't really do anything particularly Halloweeny. We did go out to a bar with some friends and sit and like have a nice wee night. And we did trick or treat at a single house. Like, I wasn't even, none of us were dressed up or anything, but you know, we're like, let's trick or treat, and went to like one house. Well, only one house answered us, and the guy just kind of laughed and gave us something, and off we went. But yeah, we just went to like a little bar. We weren't dressed up, so it was a shame. I was expecting to have like a really big, like, you know, like American Halloween extravaganza, but it didn't work out that way, unfortunately. But I would love to go to like Salem or some shit around Halloween and get like the full experience, but we will see. What movies scared you when you were a kid? It's not a horror movie, but I remember The Neverending Story for a little while scared the shit out of me. It was that what was the dog called? You know, like the scary dog that's like the messenger of the Nothing. It's like the Nothing was scary enough on its own, but like that dog thing, it hasn't aged well. But back whenever I was like a little child, that was absolutely terrifying. Not to mention the rest of the parts of the movie that were just traumatizing. Like, don't get me started on the horse. I don't know why I watched that movie so much as a kid, because it caused me so much distress in so many ways, and yet there I was, watching it over and over again, like some sort of demented masochist. So yeah, that definitely scared me. Gremlins, for some reason, again, when I was very, very, very young, went through a brief period of scaring me. And then I do remember at one point, I watched like the first chunk of Jeepers Creepers when I was a kid, and that really, for some reason, really, really scared me, and it really freaked me out. It's like one of the only ones that has ever really like truly freaked me out. And for a long time, like, I was very afraid of driving down country roads and stuff at night. It wasn't until like a few years later I saw the whole movie. Appropriate for this video. I'm sure that must have just been my contact lens shifting or something, but it looked like a figure just walked across in front of me, and it honestly nearly stopped my heart. What the hell? Okay. Didn't love that. What was I saying? Yeah, it wasn't until a few years later that I saw the entire movie and realized that like the thing from Jeepers Creepers was some like dopey like Batman monster thing. Whenever I watched the first part of it, I was under the impression it was just like a dude, like a serial killer man, and as a kid things like that scared me a lot more, because I was like, oh no, this could happen, if you know what I mean. So like that really freaked me out for a while until I saw the rest of the movie, and I was like, oh, I still actually quite like the movie, honestly, but yeah, it definitely took the fear that little child me had away. And finally, scariest nightmare. So like whenever I have nightmares these days, they sort of come in two forms, and it's like either like actual scary things like zombie apocalypse or something, or it's just distressing dreams set in real life, like, oh, all of a sudden all my friends hit me, or oh, Jake has broken up with me, or you know, like things like that. Those are the upsetting ones. Whenever it comes to like ones that are actually scary, I quite enjoy those these days, because it's like a movie. I'm like getting to like live a movie, because I'm like aware that I'm dreaming. And actually, if I wake up, if I go back to sleep quickly enough, I can go back into the dream and finish it, which is the cause of me sleeping in a lot of the time, honestly. It's such a problem, because I'll wake up in the morning, but I won't be done with my dream, so I'm like, no. I go back to sleep so I can finish my dream. So yeah, I actually love having like nightmares these days, if it's in the form of like the scary ones. But one that has always stuck with me from when I was a kid, and it's so random and so weird, but like I was really, really young when I had this dream, but it has always stayed in my head. Whenever I was a kid, my granny lived in like an apartment, but the way it was like, there was like her doorway, and her apartment was like on the, you know, the second story, but she kind of had like a doorway with her own private hallway, so it was just like one skinny little bit of hallway, and then, you know, the apartment on top of someone else's. So she had her own little private like staircase going up to it, and like the dream was, I was playing down that little hallway, and I had like a juice box, and it was like sitting on the stairs, and like as I was coming up the stairs to go back into the apartment, I had like knocked it over. I saw it fall, and like, you know, the juice kind of dribbling out the straw, and I was like, and left it and didn't bother picking it up. And for some reason in this dream my granny wasn't there, even though like she never went out and left me alone, so I don't know why she wasn't there. But yeah, so I went back up into the apartment, and then like hours passed in the dream, I guess, and like I hear my granny come home, and like she yells. I came out into the hallway, and like so much juice had spilled that it had turned into like this raging storming sea in the hallway, and like there was like thunder and lightning, like waves crashing down in this tiny hallway, and my granny was standing at the door furious with me for causing this storm in her hallway. And like that was the scariest part. I was like, oh my god, she's so mad. Like, yeah, it was so weird. Just like, I don't know why, but yeah, that one dream. I was so little when I had it, but it has always stuck with me, so there's that. And yeah, so I guess that finishes off this little video. I do hope you enjoyed it. Do let me know again if you want the like morbid questions video, and if you have any more questions for me to add into that, pop them down. I'll try to pick sort of like the most interesting or weird ones, I guess. Don't like try to be just like gross or anything for the sake of it, but you know, like interesting, weird, morbid questions. I will answer some of those, so fire them in the comments. Remember, there's a whole bunch of useful information in the description box. Check that out. If you enjoyed this video, give it a wee thumbs up, and just give it a thumbs up because we had a sponsor today, and that's exciting. Companies that will sponsor alternative people get the thumbs up. If you're new here and you enjoyed this content, do consider subscribing. There's a bunch more stuff on my channel for you to check out. And finally, before you go, if you guys could check out my Patreon, that would be amazing. I would appreciate it so much. It's especially important for creators like me at this time of the year. Patreon is like a very important thing because stuff with YouTube just crashes and burns after Christmas. So yeah, I would absolutely love you forever and ever and ever if you could check the link down below and check out Patreon and see if maybe that is something you would like to support me on. And as I say, you will have my undying gratitude and love. And I will see you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this. Bye, lovelies.